Deep in the Bavarian countryside, nestled miles away from the nearest village, stood a remote farmstead known as Hinterkaifeck. On the chilly evening of March 31st, 1922, the 6 residents of this isolated home were about to live their final hours, completely unaware of the horror lurking in the shadows. This is the story of their last day, a day that began like any other but ended in one of Germany's most infamous and baffling unsolved crimes. The family living at Hinterkaifeck was a complicated one. There was the elderly couple, Andreas and Cecilia Gruber, both in their 60s. Living with them was their widowed daughter, Victoria Gabriel, and her 2 children, 7-year-old Cecilia and 2-year-old Joseph. That very day, a new maid, Maria Baumgartner, had arrived at the farm, stepping into a household that was already steeped in unease. For months, strange things had been happening. Andreas Gruber had told neighbors about finding a set of footprints in the snow, leading from the dense forest to the farmhouse, but none leading away. He heard footsteps in the attic and found an unfamiliar newspaper on his property. A set of house keys had mysteriously vanished. The previous maid had left abruptly, convinced the farm was haunted. The family felt watched, a persistent, unnerving feeling that something was deeply wrong. But on that Friday, despite the undercurrent of fear, life had to go on. The day likely began with the usual farm chores. Andreas and Victoria would have tended to the animals in the barn, the cows and chickens that were their livelihood. Young Cecilia might have been preparing for school or helping with tasks around the house, while little Joseph played. The new maid, Maria, was probably settling in, learning the layout of her new home, unaware it would also be her grave. Victoria, a talented singer, might have been looking forward to her choir practice in a nearby town that evening. As daylight faded and a cold March night descended, the family gathered inside. They ate their final meal together, the flickering lamplight casting long, dancing shadows across the walls. Outside, the killer, or killers, had already made their move. It's believed they had been hiding in the attic for days, listening, waiting, surviving on the family's own food. Now, their patience was about to pay off. The accepted theory is that the perpetrator lured the family members, one by one, into the barn. Perhaps they made a noise with the animals, drawing Andreas out to investigate. Cecilia probably went to look for him when he didn't come back, with Victoria and little Cecilia following her. Each one was met with the same brutal fate, struck down with a pickaxe. The killer then moved from the barn to the main house. Inside, they went to Maria Baumgartner's bedroom and ended her life just hours after she arrived. Finally, they entered the nursery and murdered 2-year-old Joseph as he slept in his cot. For the next 4 days, an eerie silence fell over him. Smoke continued to rise from the chimney, and the cattle were fed. Neighbors who passed by saw nothing amiss. The killer had stayed living amongst their victims before finally disappearing without a trace. It wasn't until April 4th, when young Cecilia had been absent from school for days and the family missed church, that a search party ventured to the farm. What they discovered was a scene of unimaginable horror, a mystery that would endure for a century. Over 100 suspects were interviewed over the years, but no one was ever convicted. The reasons behind it are still a mystery. Was it a robbery, a crime of passion, or revenge? We might never find out. The story of Hinterkaifeck is a chilling reminder of how vulnerable we can be and how some secrets are destined to be kept forever. What do you think happened on that fateful night? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you're intrigued by unsolved mysteries like this one, be sure to subscribe for more.